What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force nobody else to wear them.
Things I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubt. And I have my doubt that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. We're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back up. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. I think I got switched over at least semi-smoothly. Yep, audio's going out. Everything looks good. Howdy, Steve. I seen you pop in there. I got like a big thing up in front of them. Ah, I wished I could move that like to the side or something. Let me make sure I got my audio up. Yeah, I do. I had it turned down earlier when we were flying, Patrick, because otherwise I can't hear you on my phone. Oh man. Oh, he left. He must be having audio issues, I assume. And he returned. Is your audio there now?
Yes, could you hear me before?
No, but I do hear you now.
Okay. I don't know what it is, Mike, but if I the first time I come in, it doesn't work, and then I reboot it, go out of it, and come back in, and I've got live mic. So I
Hmm.
don't know. That's
Yeah, sounds like it could be a bit of a driver issue. What I'm guessing, either that or just not getting fully connected to the browser. So, but yeah, it can
okay.
happen. Not a big deal. If that fixes it, then that's probably all you'll have to do. So
Well, it's just like which things to pick on here when you get into the room. You have to do the allow little thing, which most of
right,
the time I never allow, any of that. Well, you have to, or it doesn't work. So,
right, right.
yeah. And then the join, and then
hmm
so
And then
have
other
you already
things
done,
can, huh?
you already done your intro?
Well, the music, yeah, yep, yep. That just
Okay.
finished up when I first said something to you that was right at the end of the intro.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
wish I had a way
So,
to pipe that in here, but I don't. So, not that I can come up with yet. I got to figure something out to be able to get audio to come into here too. I don't know. I don't know what my malfunction is. I honestly
you,
don't.
you think you think you can do it?
I know I can do it. What it
Okay.
is the software that I'm using is way more than what I need to be doing what I need to do.
Oh,
And I
okay.
think
Well,
they
that's
actually have the software that would be better for me. I've just never used it. I
oh,
need to just download it and try it.
what's the software you're using?
It's called Voice Meter is the VB Audio is the developer that makes it, and it's called the kind I use or the exact model I use. It's called Voice Meter Banana,
So, is
and
it like for radio shows or what? I mean, like,
yeah, anything
you,
audio. It's a virtual mixing board. It's a really nice, sweet mixing board, but it's a on computer virtual digital mixing board.
is this a free program?
Yep, yep.
What did you say it was?
Voice meter.
Voice
Yep.
meter.
But meter is spelled Meeter. Mike
Again?
Mike Echo Tango Echo. Wait, no. Mike Echo Tango Echo Romeo. Sorry. Meter. It's just got
Meet.
two. Yeah, two
Great.
E's
Yeah.
instead of one. Yeah.
Yeah. Voice meter.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's like this is something like these people use when they're on running to the internet and they interview
Mm-hmm.
people and all this stuff.
Podcasting and stuff like that. Absolutely. Yep.
Do the people they interview, do they have to have some program that allows them to, or are they just going through a iPhone or something that
Yeah,
does it?
usually they're just going through whether it be like an iPhone or whether it be a Zoom connection or a connection like you're using right now. Um,
Okay.
Anything like that, except there are certain ways you can do it to where you can channel it. So in other words, you could have multiple people on multiple channels, and then that
Mm,
way you can adjust them and record them if you wanted separately, and then that way you could do mixing later on however you needed to mix if you needed to touch something up. So
I'm still
yep.
trying to find something for video, and programmers evidently they've never edited filming their lives because they can't. I mean, I've been editing film, well, not anymore, but since I was 12 years old.
Oh, I hear you.
Whole splice, and you can't write a program that just all I want to do is put clips together, just
Right.
kind of. I'd
The
like to
old
be able to maybe to write it. Some of these people that do these are absolutely, it's unbelievable what they're at dubbing in. They'll have the guy talking, but be able to put different words to his mouth and then come back in and it's I they can't be spending 20 hours doing that. I wouldn't think they're using something that's got more, well, what we used to call user friendly. But most
right.
of the programmers have no clue of, they've never done.
And now they can hear me again. Sorry, folks. Let me get that fixed here. And back. Sorry. That's on me. That is totally on me. What happened there was I did not disconnect from the VPN that I've been playing with. And apparently Workrooms did not like the Japanese connection that I was connecting from. You can still hear me now, right? Can't you? See?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry,
Thank you.
I had it muted so I don't sit here
Oh,
at
that's
some point
fine.
screaming a bunch of MFers or some deal over your program. I've had it happen. The radio shows stuff I've done, I've never ever slipped up. I got pretty good control. But anyway,
Right. Alrighty.
continue.
Alright. Okay. Again, sorry about that, folks. It happens. I'm messing around with a VPN, and before I continue, I'll say what I always say. I'm just messing around with it for fun, and literally for fun. And I feel like I need to emphasize this because there's a lot of people that put a lot of trust in stuff that isn't doing what they think it's doing. Let me tell you right now, the only ones that you even remotely fool with a VPN are advertisers. That's it. Anybody else? Yeah. Okay. It's yeah. There's more than one way. In fact, there's way more than one way to skin a cat. And people that really aren't interested in that cat so much, yeah, they probably won't push too far. But people that are interested in that cat are gonna find it, right? Because it's gonna leave a trail of fur, if you will. Anyway, bad analogy, but work with me there. So no, when you make an internet connection, okay, there's always connection. You leave a trail. You if you break that connection, you no longer are connected. Kind of common sense. So you leave a trail, no matter what you do, where you go. You can't prevent leaving that trail. There is nothing you and I can do to prevent leaving that trail. And I just want to make that very clear. A lot of people that do a lot of dumb shit online. So anyway, Roy came out with a video earlier. He is much better with words than I. And he's a lot more than I in many ways. He's generally better spoken than I am. And I say generally because there's sometimes he loses it too. But the way he put it today, when he was describing his position, I couldn't have put it better myself. And so the video the live stream that he did today, he was outside, beautiful view. There was a lot of wind noise in the video, a lot, and it was like pretty bad. So I took the liberty of grabbing a copy of the video and running it through an AI audio analyzer and removing, to the best of the AI's ability, not my ability. I didn't do crap except push buttons, monkey pushing buttons. Have removed most of the wind noise. It's actually bearable. But he put it together real good. Now, it was like, I can't remember, like almost a 13-minute long video, I believe. I did chop out stuff that was irrelevant that he was saying. He showed the mountains, he showed the view a little bit, and I chopped that out because it's irrelevant to the point here. And the free AI audio analyzer tool I was using gave me a 10-minute limit on the video. So that's the biggest reason. And I made it a little bit smaller, but also more to keep on the point. And he does a really good job of stating his position, and in turn actually stating much of my own position. In fact, very much of my own position. He hit on things that I really didn't know how to hit on or how to explain, especially when it comes to sides, so to speak, and when it comes to, because I'm not, and like with what he said, I am not on a side. I am not on the side of definitely not on the side of Islam, but I'm not on the side as in as on the side as a member of the Muslim faction. Just as that I'm not involved in any way or want anything to do with the Judaism side. But there's a lot. There's a Buddhist side. There's a, you know what I'm saying? I also don't want anything to do, as far as me personally, I want no connection to the Christian side. And there's a damn good reason for that. And folks need to understand that. But you remember the part in the good book where God talks about lukewarm people and how he'll spit them out of his mouth? I do not want to be spat out of the Father's mouth. And the people that are trying to play Bible teacher and trying to do whatever they can to keep massaging man, and I mean mankind, in order to keep revenue flowing, in order to keep popular opinion, and stuff like that. Man, that is the very, very, very stuff the Father was warning about. The Father didn't stutter when he told us the things that we absolutely were not allowed to do. This is one of the things that we absolutely were not allowed to do, would be trying to serve two masters. I'll be damned if I serve men. There's a reason I say that. There's a really good reason I say that. And as Roy says in this video that I'm about to play, no one of us is perfect. Not a single one of us. We all screw up. We all make mistakes. It's just the nature of it. We're all equal. And in that, we're equal in every way, not just some ways. But especially when it comes to the Father. You want to talk about equal. There is nobody you're going to find on this planet that is going to look at us more equally than the Father. That's why I reach up to him. Because let me tell you what, I've done a lot of working in my years. And I worked a lot of positions to where I saw the ass kissers going up, doing little, but getting the raises, getting the promotions. You know the drill. And I also saw the people like me that they could count on showing up for work, that would work over, that would come in on their days off, and they used the hell out of people like me. And what I got in return, as far as raises or quote unquote promotions, was nowhere in comparison. But yet I was the one that was actually doing the physical, actually doing the work. I learned about that when I was still a teenager. I worked at McDonald's. I worked at Hardee's, just like many other teenagers. I learned that lesson a long damn time ago. That's just one instance of how mankind treats every single one of us differently, and 99.9% of the time have bullshit reasons for doing so. Anyway, I'm going to play Roy's video. I want people to have a little better understanding of what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to get at. I'm not well spoken, and I'm not trying to be well spoken. I'm just being honest with you. I'm not going to waste my time policing my words, my language, my mannerisms, so that I don't offend somebody. Because the day that I run across somebody that actually is concerned about offending me is the same damn day I'll worry about offending them. So when that day comes, I'll let you know, but I'm not really expecting it, to be honest. And I need to add, rightfully so. Rightfully so. Your view should not be affected by whether or not I'll be butthurt. And likewise is the same. Likewise is the same. But I'm not going to silence speaking truth. I am not going to not call out people that are not speaking truth. And as far as the fence setters, the lukewarms, you better bet I'll call them out. I'll call them out to the top. Why? Because those are the folks that's got the masses following them. They're the ones that's causing the most damage. Why would I not focus on that? Anyway, here's Roy.
I just want to make it clear that even though I'm coming down really hard on certain aspects of Judaism right now, primarily the type that's practiced by the leadership in Israel, the state of Israel, if you can even call what they're doing Judaism. Most of us would call it Zionism, I think. Even a lot of Jews call that Zionism. By the way, I'm sorry about the wind. There's nothing I can do about that, so hopefully you can hear me. There's a reason why I'm doing that. It's because not because I'm taking the side of Islam. What happened on October 7th? What's happened with terrorist bombings and killings and maimings and all that from the Islam side is really no more justified than what's happened in Gaza the last almost 2 months now, to tomorrow. Plus, it doesn't mean I'm on the Christian side, because the Christians, you know, they have their little thing that they say that they're superior as well for lots of reasons, and I've had to reject traditional Christianity because, not just because of the people involved, because people are always weak, but inherent contradictions and really falsehoods in the doctrines themselves. And you say, well, Roy, how can you say that? I'm not out here to destroy anybody's faith, but I want you to know, and I'm going to say it here now, I'm not going to hurt you or kill you because you're a Jew, just because you're a Jew. I'm not even going to talk bad about you just because you're a Jew. I'm not going to hate you or kill you or talk about bad about you just because you're Islamic. And I'm not going to hate you, kill you, or talk bad about you just because you're Christian. I'm not on any of those sides. I see important things from all those different points of view and even the different groups that are within them. But just because those people think they're right and that their God demands their unadulterated attention, that doesn't mean that I have to give that God, which means I don't have to give you and your doctrine unadulterated attention and special treatment. I've studied these things for a long time, and no, I'm not what you would call an expert. I'm not what you would call divinely inspired. But I do know this, that the God of this universe treats each of us as an individual and gives us what we need to understand him better. And I'm going to say it's a him because of a personal experience I've had. But you know what? I don't see him pushing any specific doctrine on me. He's called me to do certain things, some of which I've been able to do and others I've not. I guess I have a rebellious spirit in some regards. You'd say, well, how could you do that if, God is calling you to something? Well, you'd have to be in my shoes to understand that. And you're not. So what I'm saying is that don't worry about what all these religions and different doctrines yell at you for and try to get you on their side. And I've said this before. You look for God, and if he feels like that, you need to know more than you do, he'll help you get there. Just don't be dogmatic about insisting that everybody else follow in your footsteps, because that's not the program. Never has been, never will be. I came down really pretty hard today, especially. One of the rabbis in Israel became.
Now, I want folks to pay close attention to this part and what he's got to say. Because you always hear the rhetoric about one side, right? Even mainstream media will spew the rhetoric about one side, but they won't tell you about the other. And you know what? It's not the side that you're being told about. It's not the side that you're being warned about that's doing it. It's the side that has all the cheerleaders. Let me explain. Or let him explain what I'm talking about.
The military rabbi, and he came out some time ago, and I put it off.
Steve, hang on. Go ahead.
I can't hear it, Mike. It's way too low for some reason. Your mic's very loud, but I
right.
can't hear
That's what I was talking about. I have no way to pipe that in here.
Okay.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah, no problem. No problem.
On X, and I put it on the community tab here on YouTube, a post there. And he said that raping enemy women is okay under the law, under Torah and Talmud. Interesting. And yet I'll hear Jews say that, well, Islam says they can rape women who are in the enemy camp, and they condemn them for it. Well, why don't you condemn yourself? So I came down really hard on some people today. Showing you also, when I posted this thing, it came up, I think his name is Jim Cohen. Obviously, he's Jewish origin. Cohen means priest. So he has a Jewish background in some sort or another, and he found this, or he's been aware of this news article and reposted it. Some people tried to rebut him on it, but he came back pretty strong. And I knew it because I've studied the Talmud. I know. And I know how they look at cherem, like I've talked about from Torah. But I'm not just coming down on even Zionists. Because all tables are full of vomit, and I've said that. No place is clean. No one's hands are clean in what's going on in the world today. Ukrainians, the Russians, the Americans, the Chinese. So I have to call out the Israeli supporters at this point in time, not because I don't feel the pain of the losses that they endured on October 7th, or at any other time that there's been an attack on them. But by the same token, I have a lot of sympathy for the Islamic people because of the murders that the Judeo-Christian nations have imposed upon them. And some people don't like the term Judeo-Christian, but I think that in this context serves quite well. I just wanted to come on and explain to you that I'm not taking sides. I'm going to call everybody out for the wickedness that they do, and I'll give them congratulations when they do good. But I'm not going to take a side simply because it's convenient. The wicked will destroy the wicked. You can't just jump on a bandwagon because it's convenient or easy, or because somebody's lining your pockets with dollars.
And he pretty much summed it up. Or because somebody's lining your pocket with dollars. And that is what is happening in so many cases. And I mean, I guess it's easy for people to justify, right? I could see, howdy Jason, by the way. Hopefully Steve comes back. He couldn't hear the audio. And that's what I was talking about, that I have an issue getting it to pipe in here as well as out to you. It's like, if I didn't have to worry about piping it out to YouTube, it would be no sweat. I wouldn't even need voice meter, to be honest. But because that I do need to have a separate audio stream, and yet it's got to be a totally isolated audio stream from the normal audio stream that is on my computer, if that makes any sense to you. I have to have two totally separate audio streams, two sets of two channels that cannot cross, cannot even know that each other exists. And that is not as easy to do as one might think. So, but he does, VB Audio does have they do have a software program that's, I think it's just supposed to be like patch cord cables. And it would probably take me about 2 seconds and be super easy to do, to use that versus what I'm using. But I just never went and fiddled with it yet. So, you made it back in. But so I mean, that was a big major thing that I wanted to talk. I didn't even bring up any of the news articles to speak in particular on today. Okay, I was gonna say, I thought you would join over there. Articles. Oh goodness.
We need to talk. Heard you were talking smack. Fake news, everybody. Fake news.
I'm gonna die. That's awesome. Oh man. Oh,
Spent all day on my kosher pickle farm and just to listen to this nonsense.
Oh, then I think I think Steve was having audio issues. He'll probably pop right back in. That's freaking hilarious. Oh, oh man. Oh man, it's crazy. Oh. Oh, that's a killer, man.
I had to.
You know, you want to hear something funny? When I first got my headset, my Oculus, I went and did the avatar thing, right? Because that's like the first thing you got to do. Because I'm not gonna be that weird looking thing. And so I went in to edit my avatar, and I didn't realize, and I don't know the name of it, so forgive me for that. But the little dot that the Middle Eastern
Oh,
Indians
yeah.
have on, I didn't realize that I put one on my forehead. And I had the hat, the black baseball hat, and you couldn't really see it unless I was just in a certain position, then you could see it. And the first guy that I ran into was in Horizon Worlds, and he was kind of acting a little strange and kind of, I swear to God, you could tell he was like looking at my forehead or trying to look at my forehead. And you know, I went probably 2-3 weeks before I realized.
Oh, wow.
Because I was messing around. I was going to try finding a better hat. And I took the hat off and I realized real quick I had this big red dot on my forehead. I'm like, wait. So what's up, Steve? You got audio this time. Well, you did.
Figured I would come on here and teach you guys a song of my people. It's called Kumbaya. I thought maybe get us all together. Bring in the love.
Right on. That was hilarious, by the way, when you popped in earlier. Because in Flight Sim, because I figured that was you, because I wouldn't have known who else would have just spawned in at that odd ass airport, you know, in the same kind of plane.
Right. It was the exact same one too. Yeah.
Yep. Man, that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, man, oh man, oh man.
I flew around DC a little bit, like from the White House, and what a boring place to fly over. My goodness.
Yeah, it is. There's not a lot really to. I don't know. I almost went.
But you can see Lincoln in the monument. If you
Oh,
get
really?
close enough with the chopper, yeah, he's up in there.
I I I was about. I even started up Sky Dolly, and forgot that I'd already put up my pedals and my stick. I was going to go into St. Louis and record a little flight data with Sky Dolly.
Yeah.
Just doing stupid stuff around St. Louis, around the arch and stuff like that. But then when I realized I'd done put my toys up, I'm like, I'm not dragging those damn things back out.
Right.
So I really got to get me my little deal set up. I've got a chair over there. It's one of those chairs I guess kids game in. It like sets. It's like it rocks back and forth, and it just sets right on the floor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've got one of those. That's in really good shape. And I thought, man, that would be great to like mount just right so that you'd be laying back, you know, just right with the VR headset and have your stick right there. Go ahead, Steve. I saw you raise your hand. What's up? I'm not hearing anything if you're speaking. But yeah, I didn't mess with it. I really need to get back into DCS and learn stuff. It's kind of hard to. I don't know. That's why I need to find a good Discord channel or something where somebody will show me how to use it.
Right?
What the hell are you doing?
I'm trying to fix my mask. Or
Oh.
my, not my mask, my fucking headset. My mask.
Oh man. Ah.
If I get that band too low down on the back of my head, man, it gives me a headache.
What are you using for your headgear?
Just that regular strap it came with.
Oh crap. Yikes.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yep, now I can. Can you hear me?
I ain't heard him, and I can
Uh-oh.
hear him breathing.
I heard him
Think.
talk. But now I don't hear him. I don't know if you can see the chat.
Oh, let me see.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of a bitch. That's why I got it up on the screen there. Yeah, I know no other way to really do it. Let's see. Oh man, I about died when he came in, dude. That is
I was waiting for the right moment.
well, I saw the little, I don't know what you call it, but the little fireworks looky thingies of you coming in, and I was expecting to see your usual thing. I see that, dude. I actually had to go like that just to see your name tag again. Oh, that was hilarious. Ah.
Yeah, I even showed the wife how. That's why I said someone's coming in to complain tonight. I heard. I showed the wife. She's like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna."
Oh, I was dying, man. That was good. That was some good stuff.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up?
You can hear me?
Yep, I can hear
Yep.
you.
He must not hear us or something.
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Oh,
I
okay.
hear you, but I don't. Pat's not it. Pat's not in the room.
Huh.
Oh really?
Try to refresh the page because I can tell you there's a little bit of a delay. I'll cycle this too. Uh-oh. Uh-huh. Okay. Let's see. 1 second. Thank goodness for microphone muting. You guys don't need to hear my nose. Thank goodness for microphone muting. Man. Yeah, I was looking through, I didn't see anything really, really stupid crazy on the news. Well, hell.
Why is my thing being wonky?
What's that?
Oh, nothing. My computer's just being weird.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I am loving that heater. I even had to shut it off today for a little while. And I think it's a bit warm in here now, to be honest. I think it's turned down all the way. It's 37 degrees outside.
Right on. I'm supposed to get mine. It says Monday, but I don't know.
It was 71 here today.
Wow. 71?
That would be nice.
And the motor is back together and running.
Sweet.
And I hurt from my knees to my neck.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's kind of the last engine project for me.
Yeah, I can't blame you, but feel good that you did it, man. I mean,
Oh
hell.
yeah, but it's doesn't smoke and all that. I've still got it's a running lean. It's pulsating. I put a new carburetor on it that I've had for months, and I found one on eBay that it's like a $250 carburetor. It's original equipment, but they had it for $10.
Wow.
And the problem is with this one, which I didn't really notice, that the old ones had, of course, a throttle idle set screw, and then the other screw was the mixture. And the new ones don't have any of that. Well, this one's got the mixture screw. I can see that from the picture, but it's got a cap over it. I don't know how many vehicles you've worked on or whatever, but there was a period back in the 70s when they decided people shouldn't be able to adjust their mixtures.
Yeah. I know.
So I've got to either I got to get the cap off and I've got to adjust it. Then it probably, but no smoke, and she just that's the part I like, is firing them up. And
yeah, a lot of the new ones, a lot of the new carburetors, well, the cheaper mowers anyway, they don't have adjustments on them.
But you had, I'm sorry, Mike, I just, no, you had one of those carburetors.
Yeah.
What was it called? Now, Eliminator or what?
Oh, a Predator.
Predator. That's how that. Gee, I know the name, Mike. 'Cause, when you tell, oh wow, yeah, I always wanted to try one of those when they came out. You had one.
They are badass.
Well, and it was. I wanted to try one of those so bad, and I wasn't around anyone really. They were using them or had them or tried them, and they didn't. Do they still make them?
Oh hell, I have no idea. I've been out doing stuff with vehicles.
But it was a very variable jet type, and I think they'd about run on anything, if I recall. But no, it was just so different and everything like that. It's something that you had one of those, and that because I remember they were.
It's a car engine you're talking about?
No, it's a carburetor.
Carburetor.
I know, but going on what kind of engine? A small engine? Or?
Yeah. Oh no, big engine. Yeah, their carburetors were
like what, a V8 or?
Yeah, high performance V8.
Oh, I know a really good carburetor is Demon. Demon makes really awesome carbs, and then I think it's Sniper. Holly Sniper makes one now. Holly Sniper makes one now that it's a carb you throw on, and it tunes itself. It does the fuel air mixture, everything on its own. So it's like a fuel injected carburetor. It's plug and play. That's cool.
Huh.
Now, and yeah, see, and Ford tried doing that back in the 80s.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this, Steve, but Ford had they were doing it like most of their cars, the V8s. My dad had one. It was I can't remember the year. It's an LTD station wagon. Might have been an 86, 88, something like that. And what did they call that stupid ass carburetor on that thing? It was half carburetor, half wannabe fuel injector, and it had like this fuel metering rod on it, and that's what you would commonly have a problem with, and it would no longer. I guess it would no longer properly inject fuel. I guess I was
Yeah.
kind of young when they had it. I wasn't the one that worked on it. But Dad cussed that damn thing up and down so much, and he wanted to just take it off, and he tried. He had another, he had quadrajets laying around and stuff like that, and quadrajunk, whatever you want to call it, and he had plenty of parts laying around, but it wasn't a matter of simply pulling the carburetor off and putting another one on because of the way I guess the intake was set up and all of that. Yeah, so finally, over time, I do think that he had come up with a base plate or something that he could use in conjunction with a regular carburetor that he could get it to work. But I think it took a special base plate for him to use.
Yeah.
So, because there was like other lines that went into it, and it was a stupid ass setup from what I recall. But they all did it though.
Nowadays, they're so, like I said, that Holly Sniper one, you just bolt it on, and then it comes with a little display thing you mount on your dash. And
Yep. And it's all electronic
you
and
go up into the
computerized.
mountains, and it automatically adjusts the air fuel ratio, everything.
Yep.
It's cool.
Yep. And all that's super simple. And all you have to do is make sure it's got a certain amount of pressure and a certain amount of flow, and it can do the rest.
Just fuel pressure. That's it.
Yep. Yeah, that's technology now. It wasn't that easy back then. They had to use mechanical means. And that didn't
shoot, even 10 years ago, I took a Camaro in to get the carburetor, and I could only find one person that would even work on a carburetor around here. I'm in a small community. Shoot.
Hell, I'm all about that. Hell, I'd be so happy rebuilding a carburetor. I haven't done that in decades.
I know for like short track racing and everything, the guys, they use like a single barrel carb, like a big, almost like a throttle body type thing deal.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to fuel delivery systems, and as long as you get the right amount of fuel and as long as it's atomized properly, that's it. It doesn't matter whether it's got 1 barrel or 50 barrels. It doesn't matter. You can flood that carburetor out just as easy with 1 barrel as what you can 50.
I would really love to. We're getting so off topic and shit, but like, I would really love. Oh no, I totally forgot what I was just gonna say. Dang it.
Yeah, my favorite though, with the new / old technology, was my 1980 Volkswagen Scirocco, and I've told Steve about this. How did they call that? It was a Venturi mechanical fuel injection, is what that was considered. It was so you have your air intake, where you're drawing air in from your air cleaner. I had what you would think of as like a throttle body there. Now it was up and down, it was vertical, okay? and that's important. It had to be vertical because it needed gravity. And what it had was a butterfly. That butterfly was on a pivot point. The other side of the pivot point ran just a jet. That's just like you would imagine the on a lawnmower engine, the bowl, the needle jet to let
Mm,
more fuel into the bowl and to stop the fuel from coming into the bowl. It's pretty much just like that.
okay.
But it was a specific, the opening was a specific, the butterfly was a specific size, and there was an adjustment where you could adjust just slightly how much that jet was moved by that venturi. Then the fuel ran to that needle valve, and then from into the engine in the head had fuel injectors. They weren't fuel. There wasn't. They were just they just went straight into the damn into the head. There wasn't. It was all it was a nozzle. That's what I was trying to think. All it was a nozzle. There was nothing else to it. There was no electrical. There was no nothing. It was just a nozzle.
Okay.
And that's how that system worked. It worked half like a carburetor because it had a butterfly that was measuring the airflow that went through the orifice, and that was what was adjusting the fuel flow into the motor. So I think Corvette did something very, very similar in their
Mm,
like early Corvettes, because Corvette, I believe, was the first one to have fuel injection. Correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, but I think they were the first to have fuel injection.
Well, I think it was 58
Uh-huh.
uh, Corvettes. They were and they may have been a 6-cylinder fuel injected.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but some of those, there were some of those that would, it was a spray nozzle, but it was like sitting on top of the engine, not in the ports, and it would atomize the fuel. And I
Mm-hmm.
never fooled with them or whatever, but yeah, I think it was a Corvette. I think it was the 58. They started doing that.
mm,
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it was a similar system, wasn't it? Like a Venturi type of style.
Yeah, it could have been. I think they had some kind of pressure pumps on them. I just never worked them. I never really cared for the earlier Corvettes, those straight axles and but once they got into the 63, and then I was getting almost old enough, and then I saw a 67 go by, yellow with black, and
Uh-huh.
I said, "Yeah, that's it." and I ended up with they weren't all 67s, but ended up with three of them: 63, 67, and the 72.
63 would
So,
have been my favorite. Was it a split window?
oh yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
white, pearl white with and we had 427 in it, but it was
I
had that leathered whatever diamond tucked. It had 68 seats in it, four-wheel disc brakes, which the 63s did not have four-wheel disc brakes. It was modified, but and flared, well done flared fenders, and it was really cool. Oh, and a ZL had a L88. We called them ZL1 hoods, but they had a special L88 hood that came out later. But we got one and fitted it on the fit on that 63 because everything, the hoods and everything were pretty much all the same for the next, well, till 69 till 68 when they went to the shark nose. But oh, it was neat. The 67 was 3.2 barrel, 400 horse, 4 speed. No power steering, no power brakes, and then I got the 72 because I figured it'd be the last year they were going to change them. And 72 was a 454 4 speed, but it was the last year they had chrome front and rear bumpers. After
mm-hmm.
that, they just looked, I mean, really dorky. I mean, they just didn't care for them at all. So, but yeah, the Stingray models and stuff, I still like them. Uh,
That's what I liked was the stingray. I need Meta needs to give me a dog to bring in here, especially one that's smiling like this one is right now. I've been sitting over here scratching her head because she came and nosed me. I don't know why.
Well, you need a cat to liven that dog up.
I know we keep threatening her about the black cat that runs around outside.
You know, they could, well, all every time we had, a dog and a cat, they were always buddied up together. I'll say that. They just watched out for each other and played and got along, they got along great.
Oh, she would. If we got a little kitten and she knew it from a kitten, she would be the best big sister.
My German Shepherd and my mom's cat, that dog would stay with her sometimes, and that the only time that cat got mad is when she'd find him in there eating her tuna, and then she said, "Nope, this is it. This is enough." But I saw him out in the yard one afternoon that she had a small little fenced-in yard, and the German Shepherd, he saw somebody, or I don't, heard somebody next door, and he started barking. Well, here come that cat out of the bushes, right, was standing right beside him, wanting to know, okay, what's going on. So,
Yeah, hard to do this.
but just like you talk, Holly was what we all used. My GT350 Shelby 65, it was number 124, and it came with the 730 Holly on it. Uh, the Corvette 3 2 barrels were all Hollies.
Mm-hmm.
So the 72 had I can't remember what Chevrolet used but it it wasn't a Holly, but it got replaced pretty quick. So, and they dropped the compression down to 8.5, which would have been great if it had been turbocharged, but they weren't. So everything really started going to, then the little caps went on the fuel adjustment car, screws and all that crap. They had an air pump on them. That was supposed to burn the fuel better. And all it did is, dilute the pollutants coming out of the tailpipes. All it did. Well, you didn't disconnect that thing.
Right.
But I had the finest driving car I ever had was a '73 Pontiac Grand Prix. Absolute finest. I mean, I had mechanics, but I'd buy a new set of tires and they'd take it out and test drive it and bring it back. And I remember one day one guy did, he says, "I haven't ever driven a car like this before." And I said, "It's unbelievable, isn't it?" I mean, it's just absolutely unbelievable driving car. Had no pollution stuff on it in '73, and it'd run 140 miles an hour.
Yep.
So,
Yep. And probably got good gas mileage.
oh, it was absolutely,
I
it was
mean,
beautiful, beautiful car. But the finest driving, I took, from uh, driving to Wichita on the interstate, I took the dashboard apart. I had I had a quarter-inch drive set, and the 8-track players in it would mess up. And I
yep.
took the dashboard apart and removed the 8-track player, running down the interstate, 70 miles an hour.
Right.
That's how that car it drove itself.
Oh, I hear ya.
It was
I know a guy that destroyed a about a $3,000 engine in just a weekend because he was a complete freaking idiot. Um, so in high school, me and my best friend and some other guys had pretty much built a car from the frame up. It was a 67 Chevelle, and so anyway, he had two cars, and one of them was an SS, one of them wasn't, and of course we're trying to get the SS on the road. And so, I mean, literally, I mean, he had a guy that did the body work for him, but we literally went from the frame up, and um, so his grandpa, uh, I don't know what involvement he was. I think he was more than just like somebody that worked there. I think maybe he even could have had some ownership. I don't know exactly, but his grandpa uh, worked, or like I say, he had some involvement with a pretty good size automotive place in Granite City, and they also had machine shop and all that. They did it all. Well, he had everything done to the engine he could do to it pretty much. And that was, I think it was his Christmas present. I don't think it was birthday. I think it was his Christmas present. So anyway, um, of course, as soon as he got the engine, we went like nuts getting the damn thing in the car. And because he had a 350, and that poor 350, well, the straight six was the one I think that got swapped out the most. I couldn't tell you how many times we put that straight six in there because he blew the other engine out. But anyway, I had this completely fresh, incredibly built 327, 4-bolt main, the whole 9 yards. And I told him after we finished up on stuff, I said, okay, you're good to go, but you need to fill the radiator up, and you need to put more oil in it. You need to fill the oil up. Okay. And I left. I think I had to go to work or something. And it wasn't too awful long, and I can remember hearing him flying through town and seeing him cruise back and forth in front of where I worked. And so a couple of days went by, he's running the hell out of the car and everything. And so he gets on the interstate one day, and he's kind of blowing down the interstate, passes a state cop that was there radaring. So he thought, I'll just slam this thing to the floor and outrun him. Now, if he would have remembered to put the rest of the oil in the damn engine, he might have got away with that. But instead, he blew a rod right out the side of the block. Freaking idiot. But yeah.
Well, did he have any oil in it?
A quart. Well, okay, a quart and a half, quart,
Yeah.
3/4 maybe, a little bit, not much. But for the most part, it just ran on assembly lube. Of course, it had solid lifters, and you know what I mean. So.
Well, that lawnmower engine, as soon as I got it mounted on the lawnmower, and the oil filler tube and stuff stuck back on it, I filled it full of oil because like I said, this is not a good time for me to be working on that sort of thing. Kind of like what I wrote you about, also not a good time to be flying either.
Right. I hear you there.
What the hell's that alarm horn blowing for?
Oh man. Oh.
Yeah, it ends up looking like that picture on that card you sent me.
Yep.
It just, I hate to admit it, but it's just not, and you hurt so bad and you're crawling around. God, when you're young, you'd hurt a little bit maybe the next day, but then you just went on. Now it's just like a whole months of recuperation plus you put something together, then you realize that belt had to go on before you don't. I can go into a box of bolts that I've had laying around for 50 years and pull out a bolt and tell you what it came out of. It just sheet metal screws. Oh yeah, those go on a Corvette or whatever, and those rod ends or whatever, they go on a Ford 289. But take that lawnmower apart, not remember how you got it back together, and all those little sheet metal parts that, oh, geez. So, but
That's why
anyway,
that's why I use a phone and
yep, there
and
you go.
anything, yep, anything that I might even
Yeah, I've got I've got a phone that I don't use anymore. I could have done it with, and
mhm
I got a Canon camera. I have done that on some electrical work and stuff, because
mhm
just like replacing that 10 station uh, sprinkler control box and stuff. Yeah, I took pictures of all that because
yep
I just,
yep
yeah, I
I mean
thought
I've
about
I've
that as I was trying to go back together with it, like should have. Yeah. Oh,
I've worked on so many different things that you've had to keep things in a certain order, and because even in hydraulics you'll have that to where you better not mix up stuff like in between valves, or you know what I mean.
oh yeah, yeah.
Some of your simple valves, yeah, they're all the same, but there's a lot of damn valves, control valve sets that aren't the same, you know what I mean.
Well,
So
just like
because
that dam linkage and uh, just the little rods, the little wire rods for the choke
mm-hmm
and the throttle. I mean, of
yep
trying to get how did those go? And I had pictures, a shop manual deal.
mm-hmm
The little spring where it was supposed to be attached to the. It uses a governor system, and it took me about 4 tries trying to
mm-hmm
figure that out. Well, I started it up. I said, okay, she's all together. Started up, and it took right off. And I mean, okay, she's running about. She wasn't at idle. She was running about probably a quarter throttle. So I just let it run, but then I couldn't shut it off, without
mm-hmm
with the key. It stopped working. Something I hadn't had connected, so I could just shut the. I've got fuel shut off, so I got electric fuel pump on it, and then a shut off valve, so I could do that. But I watched it, didn't put out not a trace of white smoke or anything, but it did have some dark smoke and maybe some carbon. And I started up twice and let it run like 45 minutes.
mm-hmm
So, and then shut it down, and then went back out to start it, and it wouldn't start. And I ended up finally all the tricks, pulling out the spark plug a couple of times and brushing it off because I got the old spark plug. I
mm-hmm
mean, those things cost almost $5 now, so it isn't like I just throw that in the trash.
right
And yeah, one of the tricks is okay. I pulled the plug and I took a propane torch and put it on the end of it to make sure all the oil and stuff is burned off. And then you stick that torch down into the opening of the spark plug hole, and if there's
mm-hmm
any fuel or anything in there, dry that out. Well, when I stuck it down there, I mean, I'm glad my face wasn't down there. It went off like a 30-30 rifle. I mean,
yeah
and it blew some stuff out of it, but it wouldn't start. And then it threw it. So something was hanging something up, probably on a valve. I know some carbon came loose or something, but uh, put the plug in there and started right up. So all the tricks of, that at least I could remember those, Mike.
right yeah
Yeah.
if you think you got carbon in there, I would run a little bit of seafoam through it.
Seafoam. Man, I don't know about
Seafoam.
those additives, Mike. I'm not real big on them, but I see them
Uh,
advertise that. First of all, the name bothers me, Mike, a lot. Oh,
Yeah.
Seafoam is so old, and that's been such a reliable
yeah,
product
I
for so
know, but
long.
I'm not on the ocean with the inboards or outboards, so I just kind of
Yeah, I
okay.
No,
get
No,
that.
it
I'm
I've seen
go
that
ahead.
many times.
it'll cut that carbon, man.
Watch engine teardowns after they do that, and
Uh
oh
huh.
my god, the carbon it takes out of an engine just through one can of that is
Yep.
amazing.
Yep. It's
It
some
it
killer
cr- it
stuff.
It cleans them up then, because I'll listen.
Oh yeah,
Believe me.
it cleans the
Yeah.
carbon, and you can get it at any hardware store.
And here's the screwed
Oh,
up thing, Steve.
I've seen it. I see it.
Yeah.
But they're advertising the hell out of it. I guess.
Yeah, the
Go
thing
ahead.
is when you're doing it, don't let it
Yeah.
die.
Yeah, don't let it die. You won't get it started.
Just
You'll
keep.
be,
Well, you add it to the gas.
well, that's what I was going to
You
tell you.
can, yeah.
It's incredible stuff. You can burn it in your gas to clean out and help out your fuel system,
Yeah.
and at the same time you can run it in your oil, and it helps with things like carbon. I mean, it's incredible. So the
Yeah.
answer is yeah. You run a little bit in your
Okay.
gas, but you also run a little bit in your oil. You do both.
A lot of
Well,
people they will like run a high idle and spray it down the carb until it's all gone.
Hmm.
And then, as long as you keep it at that higher idle, it won't bog down
right.
and die. But
Yeah.
yeah, you'll see mad smoke come out of your exhaust when you're doing it that way.
Yeah.
Well, it just I couldn't get all the carbon off the valves, and I didn't want to. I just said okay, and I know the
That'd do it.
risk and stuff, but that there was something hanging that it didn't sound quite right to being turned over, and of course I want to think all the worse when you're down around race cars, all the times I've been around them, it usually is the worst. Like you open the valve cover and here's all the lifters and push rods and rocker arms laying in the pan, laying in the valve
Ah,
cover. Call
dude.
Iskandarian again and say, "Hey, Dick, your set screws don't work." He'd send me a new cam out. He did that twice. I said, "I've had it." We ended up putting. The guy said, You ought to try a stud girdle," and I said, "Okay, what the hell is that?" When the staggered valves of a 427, it's a couple of aluminum bars. You replace the rocker arm nuts with big round deals, and this bar goes right in the center. And when you and there's U bolts that when you get done adjusting your valves, then you tighten those U bolts around this big round rocker arm screw, and it's what finally cured it.
Right. Hang on just a
But
second. I have to
sure,
get
go ahead.
Blue out because she's like about to kill me, and
Okay.
I got bottom teeth, so she's like gotta go, and so anyway, I'll be right back, and then I need to get to the headlines and stuff so I can get.
Gotcha. I'm sorry we got off
Oh,
on
you're all
that,
right.
but
I'll be right back.
it's
All right, Kyle, let's go.
love the cars though, Pat. I just
Oh, I do too, man. I've had quite the weird collection of like I'm one of those guys that I don't buy anything unless it's like different.
well, I
Like
don't
it's
know.
got to have something that like this one guy says Wrangler Star, it's got to give me the fizz, man, or I don't want it.
The what?
He calls it the fizz. It's got to get me excited, man, or I don't want it.
Ah, okay. Well, so what'd you have? What kind of
Oh
odd
man,
cars?
I had one of my favorites. I wish I had back was a '74 Nova hatchback. I fucking loved that, and I regret so
Really?
much getting rid
Okay.
of that. Um,
Yeah.
oh my
Wish I
god,
had
I
them
had a
all.
'85 Camaro T-tops. With a 350 in it instead of the 305, and then a 5-speed. And I put a Edelbrock. Everyone always puts like the Edelbrock Performer intakes on. I put the one on called like EPS, where all the power's made between like 1,000 and 3,000 RPM. So it would just do a burnout in like first, second, third. It
Yeah.
was just
They're
fun.
real torquey then.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then I've had a few Chevy square bodies, real nice ones. I had like a Ford F-150 that was all decked out like a Baja truck. Um, God, dude, I've had a lot of fucking vehicles, like a lot, way more than I should have had.
Nah, don't think like you know better than that. The cars
If
used to
only I
have.
would have kept them all, that would have been
Oh
so
yeah,
cool.
that's what I should have done with my life because I knew what I was doing with them. I really did, and I loved it. And I loved driving. So all I ever wanted to do was drive, and it just I wish because I knew what to buy. And back then, I could buy a '67 Corvette that was 2, 3 years old for $2,500.
Yeah,
I mean, now 25. It was it wasn't like you still had to pay for them, and it wasn't like that was easy. But you know,
the,
I shoot, yeah, I had 4 cars, and then the whole total of them cost $13,000. I mean,
yeah,
geez, and we're talking about '63 Corvette, '67 Corvette,
yeah. I
'72
know, right?
Corvette, and a GT 350 65 Shelby.
Now, rusty ass Bronco is going for like 15 grand.
Yep.
Yeah, and like we kid and a friend of mine that helped me so much that I met when I was 16. We were dating sisters, and in fact, I bought that GT 350 for him. He needed some money. Said, "You want to buy that?" And I said,
Mhm.
"Yeah." And we between him and me and his brother, we had 8 Corvettes. But it
Damn. I've never owned a Corvette. I've always wanted one. I really like the Stingrays. My favorite has got to be like the old 427, like the original style, man. That's the best, but I'll never
oh
get one of
yeah,
them.
they only made him like 2 years.
Yeah.
And they reintroduced them here about, gosh, now it's 5, 6, 7 years ago. They were
I
so
did
popular that the
uh,
Chevrolet came out with them, and it came out with a modified a new ZL1 all aluminum engine. It's something twenty
I
five
was
thousand
thinking
bucks.
about getting one of those cuz they're going really cheap now, like the 90s models. What is that, the C4 or something like
Mhm.
that or something?
Corvettes,
Yeah.
yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
know that the fuel pump on those is right on the back hatch. Like right on the top and the back. That's where they put the fuel pump. You don't have to take the tank out or nothing, man. Like I've never seen a car where the fuel pump was like right there.
And
well,
the
it's
90s.
fuel injected though, isn't it?
It is
Yeah.
fuel injected, yeah, but the fuel pump is like it would be where it kind of looks like a gas lid on the back trunk, right in the
Yeah,
middle. But that's you
but
lift
the
that up and that's where you take out the fuel pump.
Well,
high pressure.
I know the 96 Camaro didn't have it there. Everything on that damn car was Corvette except for the freaking body. And I mean it was the SS Z28, but it everything it had the LT1 engine in it. The SLP rear end. It had the 460 LE or whatever tranny. The
Hmm.
one that always busted out second gear. Yeah, that piece of crap. Yeah, that tranny. Um, and but that fuel pump, man, in order to get the gas tank down, you have to drop the rear end. You have to drop the exhaust.
Yeah, I've
To
done
to get
enough
the
of them in my life, man.
fuel
Uh,
pump,
I've
did
had
you
my
say?
been
yep,
elbow
yep.
deep in gas tanks many times.
I'll be damned when I put that damn thing together. I didn't knock the damn arm off for the fuel level. I knocked the arm, the you know what I'm talking about, the arm off the float.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It wasn't coming. Fuck that. We're gonna use the odometer. We're gonna use the trip reset, and that because I wasn't taking that tank back down. The only way that was gonna do anything to do with that was gonna involve me taking a freaking jigsaw to the fucking trunk and cutting a hole where that son of a bitch was. And
Right.
I wasn't gonna
I
do
don't know
that
why
again.
they didn't do that on half of these trucks, man. Put a little access plate to them.
That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna cut me an
Yeah.
access hole and
It
then
should
just
be
put a
on every
plate.
vehicle. A lot of the other cars, like the front wheel drive cars, you could lift up the back seat, and they did have a little access spot to get to the fuel pumps. But
Mm-hmm. Not that Camaro. That frickin' car. But you know what? There is something that I would have rather changed a fuel pump than having to change something else on that car again, and that's spark plugs. I would be more willing
Yeah,
to change another fuel pump before I
I've
would
been there.
the spark plugs on that damn thing. Man, that passenger side rear spark plug, I worked
Yeah.
at that for a couple of days.
Yeah, you end up with a lot of different brands of extensions.
Yeah,
Some of that
and
stuff.
swivels and
I
oh
mean,
yeah.
ones would be like an inch shorter, was
Hmm.
enough to you could get into some place. And
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
as we joke, the cars, they were pretty economical. But the joke was we spent all our time, full time, paying for them, and the rest of the time we spent trying to keep them running.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. Yep. I'll tell you what, that Camaro was nice, but it was a piece of shit.
But
I mean,
was
it's
that the
Camaro.
was it?
Huh?
You said it was that one? Was it a
Compared to
Z20?
like an LS, they are a piece
It's
of shit, man.
yeah, it's an IROC Z28 SS.
Yeah, that's when they
Yeah.
had that end of race. What is it? I can't even remember what they called it. Yeah, they tried
It
to
was an
make all.
anniversary thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but they made all the cars. They were supposed to be the same, and I mean the drivers. So it was all up to the drivers, and they didn't have suspension on them. They were bottoming them out, and there were sparks flying on. They were just. It was a horrendous type of idea because they weren't set up to be. These guys used to drive a NASCAR.
Right.
So
Right.
There's these guys that do that. This guy named Cletus McFarland on YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah.
But he does a race called the 24-hour Le Mullets, and it's with all Crown Vics, like police Crown Vics and taxis. And he'll
Mm-hmm.
get like 20 or 30 of them, and he buys them all, and then he'll put racers in them, and then it is talk about fun to watch.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Oh
there
man.
used to be not like the pretty boys NASCARs now. They're all uh, well, whatever. But the old days, they start rubbing each other a little too much. They're down on the infield, getting out, socking each other with the helmets on, trying to beat each other up. So
Right.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. Oh, real quick. I'm probably not even gonna read through the headlines. They're there. If anybody wants to see them,
oh,
twitter.com/TheWatchmanNews.
why? You
Go
can go
read the
through
damn
them.
thing.
Well,
Huh?
go read them. Now,
I didn't want your
okay.
anti-Semitic news, anyways.
Oh, yes,
There is only one though. There
Achaim.
is
Achaim.
Rabbi,
Whatever that
Rabbi
means.
got Rabbi Bill there now.
nine.
So
Nine.
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 Train.
Yeah. You go on holiday.
That's it. I'm gonna eat me a kosher pickle and go to bed.
Now there is one news story though that I do want to bring up from today.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys caught it or
You do
not, but there was
it.
a shooting
Oh.
in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah.
And
It
it
was.
was well, I don't know all the deets because it happened like quite a while ago, and I haven't looked at any updates on it. However, University of Las Vegas or whatever, and what I did know, what is that? The UNLA or something, or UNLV? I mean, active shooting. There we go. Let's see. 7 hours ago, 30 minutes. I always look for,
Suspect dead.
Yeah, at least 3 killed. Let me pause that. Wait, is this just video? I think that might. Oh, goodness.
What was this?
Now is the time to make changes. Oh, my goodness. They can't make it even out of the first freaking paragraph before they're already talking about gun laws.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's yeah. As you watch all this, what happened in Israel, those people just been armed, Mike. They used to be armed.
oh
I
yeah, it was like required.
oh yeah, and you watch all those guys fly in with those parasails or whatever, and if they'd have just people have been carrying pistols when they hit, bang bang. Now you got an automatic weapon too, so it's just terrible. I mean that they, from what I understand, they were the next day they were out handing out guns to people. Yeah, and they want to
um,
take ours away with what we've got. Staring us in the face. What we're going to look forward to with all that's going on. Jeez, yeah, take our
wow.
guns. Good luck with that, Schumer.
Yeah.
Oh well, this is getting interesting. Um, but this is what I wanted to talk about. This more than anything, actually, even more than just
Okay, go
this
on.
incident. Um, and I said this was going to happen, and we are seeing it unfold more and more as each one of these events happen. And they are like in this incident here, right? All they're saying is three law enforcement sources familiar with the investigation say the deceased suspect in the UNLV shooting, which killed at least three people, is a man in his 60s. So we're talking about a university campus here, a man in his 60s, and trying to figure out what the hell could possibly be the motive here. And the thing that bothers me the most is, do you notice how long they take now to release the information as to who it was?
Oh, they got to go shut down all their accounts
They're
first.
going and shutting everything down before
Yeah.
anybody has the least little bitty chance,
Yeah.
Well,
and
that guy. They still haven't released that. What do they call those things when the people write these big? Uh,
manifesto.
yeah, right. They still haven't got all that. People have been getting. There were three cops. They let go three cops that had they released some of that.
Yeah, yeah.
That guy got. I'm trying to think who he was. I know that guy. Trying to think,
And that was
but
the incident that happened in which the powers that be, if you will, said that, okay, we have to completely control the narrative here. And so
oh
that's
yeah,
why ever since that incident, you've seen, and I called it out then because I knew it was going to happen. I've been waiting for him to start doing that for some time now. And when that event happened, I knew they're going to start cutting the flow of information now. And sure enough, pretty much every single incident like this since, they take a long time before they reach or before they reveal an identity. And even pages like Heavy hadn't had a chance to really go in and do a lot because they're so tight-lipped about the identity, and
okay.
that's
Why?
wrong. Well,
Oh,
and that's my
I know it's
question. Why?
wrong, but it just it's just for
Because
we're gonna control it because we
no,
can,
they
or
had
are
a
they?
no, they have a narrative they want to push. And
Oh,
so the
okay.
situation that I was talking about, like I think that was in Tennessee where that freakoid went and killed, wasn't it, kids, right? Yeah, she
Yeah,
went into a school and killed.
yeah,
Yeah.
the manifesto. Well, it was a
Yeah, yeah.
girl,
Right.
girl.
Well, he, she, it thing, sometimes
Well, but
why, right?
they
One of
didn't.
those
They
Hmm.
things.
but it was a girl, and I mean physically a girl that did
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And
I
and
guess
see,
because she thought this is what guys do, huh? So she's
well,
gonna
see, they wanted to spin that and they wanted to somehow make it against conservative, somehow make it against,
absolutely sure.
and they completely lost control of that narrative,
Well,
even
so
from the
far
start.
there hadn't been one conservative that's pulled one of these deals.
No. I'm trying to think. I mean, not one like this. No, there have been conservatives that have most
Well,
certainly. That the
yeah,
guy
but
that
you,
did the AT&T, remember in Tennessee, the AT&T building or whatever. There was a bomb.
Or the
That
gay
was
club.
yeah. Another one.
well,
I
they
mean,
shoot like judges and stuff, which know, you know how that goes,
that is now he's got a
don't you?
point there.
I
He's got a
do.
point there. I mean, okay. He's got a damn good point.
Well, I thought it was. I'd say it's the Jerry Seinfeld. When you see some of those stories, say, "Boy, that's a shame."
I'm waiting for Morgan Freeman to pop in and go, he's right, you know.
Right?
He's right, you know. Where's that from? That it's got to be a
It's
movie or something, isn't it?
I
And then
don't
the
know,
Dos
but
Equis guy over here. I don't always blame the Jews, but when I do.
I've always seen it in a meme form, so I don't know if it's anything other than a meme. But there's a lot of memes that have Morgan Freeman on them, and it's got an arrow pointing up to your picture, and it
Yep.
says he's right. You know, I gotta grab the dog. I'll be right back.
Okay. Well,
It looks so weird when he goes away, man. uh,
thanks for the earphones, Pat.
you're welcome.
I haven't had a set of these. I was trying to think how long it's been since I've used them. That tells you how old I am. Jeez,
Are you okay, buddy?
old.
What are you doing?
Ah. Yeah, we're adults.
It's that acquired humor I always keep talking about.
Right?
You know, we started laughing about stuff, Pat, and other people say, "Oh, how terrible! How could you laugh about that?" What, you know, it's an acquired humor, and then you go long enough doing that, it's required humor.
Right.
Oh man.
No, but the narrative deal. Oh, absolutely. That you know, this is as bad as it ever. You know that people just don't. I I don't know how. I mean, these lockdown countries and stuff, the communist countries, uh, people don't understand what this really means. So
America right now, I can tell you, America is absolutely fed up, especially because all these people, this generation of complainers is getting out there and realizing, that even if you went to college, you still can't afford to leave home. Still got to live in mom and dad's basement or extra room. I was watching a video the other day of a teacher, she's got her master's and all this and all that, and she's teaching and she can't even afford a fucking apartment. People are fed up, dude. I'm telling you, with that part. I think we're more fed up with that than anything.
that what, Pat? I was listening, but I didn't. I mean, it wasn't that
When,
what? Because they
yeah,
can't move out.
yeah,
The
like
children.
say if you go to college right now and go get your master's degree in something, like whatever. Like this lady was a teacher and she still can't even afford to move out of her mom and dad's house on her income.
Yeah,
She can't even afford an apartment.
sure.
And it's true, like an average apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment, in the city
Well,
is around $1,200. I mean, and then you got your health insurance and all this other shit on top of it. Like once people don't have any money to do anything fun anymore, that's when they'll start to complain.
well, that's one thing I was going to say about us talking about these cars. You know how big a deal it used to be when the cars came out, the new models and stuff?
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
that was
this was a big deal for people, and maybe probably well, girls too, but probably more for men. It was a real independence thing. It was a real whatever fun thing, and this is all the car. I mean, I don't even know what the cars are. There's no names on them anymore, and they all look the same.
mm,
And
yep.
there's just no well, the fun thing now, boy, I can't remember what the ad said. For real drivers or something. I said, you're driving an SUV. All you care about is just what color it is, people. I mean, as for it's stuff like that. And this is what happens with the communist style of state planning for everything. Which you can't use incandescent light bulbs. Now you can use incandescent bulbs. Now the Bidens, they made them where you can't. They've already done the damage. There used to be a big Sylvania plant right up near Topeka, Kansas, and it's gone because they outlawed incandescent bulbs. You could buy 4 light bulbs for
And
99
then
cents.
after the fact, oh, it's okay now. Well, after the damage is done,
Oh, yeah, they
yeah,
totally damaged, and people don't. I
people's
have,
careers, people's
yeah, a whole
livelihood. Yeah,
lifetime of work, Pat. I have lived through this, worked through this, banked through this. Just and it just they just go through and wreak havoc to where they've just destroyed the industries in these states. It's just terrible.
yep. One of the
And
big things around
go
here
ahead.
that I hate is they would give farmers like if you built a hog confinement, they would pay for it, as long as you put pigs in it.
Right.
And you could basically get the whole building for free.
Yep.
So that's why pork is so damn cheap, because I shit you not. You cannot go more than 3 miles tops anywhere in Iowa without seeing a hog confinement. I swear to you. You will see one on damn near every single property. And it used to be cattle. It used to be cattle everywhere. Now, not hardly anybody does cattle around
Yeah.
here. And
Yeah.
if there is cattle, it's usually on a giant ass dairy farm.
Sounds racist to me. Rabbi Bill.
Well, and how you take care of the pigs? I mean, I know, right? That's why I don't eat pork no more. Is because I used to work in a hog confinement.
Okay. Well, I could see
Not
where that
really.
might put a
No, but
take.
like I did work at a hog confinement, dude, and I did the breeding and the farrowing and all of that. And like what you do, like you say, if there's a starving baby pig, you don't try to put it in a different pen and feed it out. You take it by the back of the legs and you slam its fucking head on the ground and you kill it. I mean, and they're doing this daily, and like
Yeah.
just the way, the method of it, you would never do that to a calf. You would never do that to any other animal. But when they're farming, you got 3,000 pigs in one barn. It's
Yeah.
it's money. It's dollar signs. And that's the only thing they care about is dollar signs.
Well, that's how the Nazis felt too.
That's what that shit reminds me of, man. It's crazy.
they had they had they had they had to come up with a better way. You've all seen the movies, or
Yeah.
the famous one. You just dig a hole and you march 6 people down in the ditch, and you got guys with rifles stand up and you shoot them. Next 6, march them in. Well, it was having such a psychological damage to the soldiers doing it, which you can understand that they had to come up with better ways. Like you hook the car exhaust up to this trailer that's enclosed and put the people in there and drive around for an hour looking at the sights, and you get back to the compound and unload the bodies. So
Man.
it does have an effect on people. I've talk to different people, the same thing, whether it's cattle or whatever, it has an effect on
Yeah,
killing
man,
things.
because you gotta have there's gotta be some respect there for what you're doing.
Yep,
I feel like,
yep. Uh, but to think about killing people the same
and
way.
like some of the grossest stuff, like when we'd go through and like all the babies' teeth, you gotta clip their teeth, otherwise they'll grow into a tusk later on, and then they're they won't want them around. So you always clip their teeth, cut their tails, and then cut their nuts if they got them. And then all of that goes into feed. You mix it with some feed, and then you feed it back to the ones that are about to give birth, because that
Mhm.
introduces all the diseases in the barn into their bodies. Like you literally
What
feed the mother sows that are about to be birthed all the nuts from the
what
babies you just castrated. It's crazy.
what does that harm them, or does it make them back? The
It doesn't harm
bacteria.
them. It just makes it so that when their litter's born, they already have any. If there's anything in the barn that could kill them, it won't, because they're already kind of immune to it that way.
I
That's
just,
It
what I
I
kind
was
of
just,
keeps
wondering.
that cycle
oops,
going.
sorry.
Yeah.
It's just like when you breed, like every hog in the barn, they all come from one granddaddy, man. Everything's bred off of that one granddaddy.
Huh.
Generation down, everything comes from that one, because it all has to stay the same, pure bred. It's a
Yep,
crazy industry, man, really crazy, and I
yep.
hate it. I'd
Well,
rather have beef. I'd way rather have beef.
look at yeah,
Hey,
but
I need
go
to
ahead.
hop out of here. So you
Okay,
guys can continue if you want, but I need to
that's
hop out.
that's fine. I really need to lie down. I'm trying to recover
Yeah,
from a
same, guys.
month-long deal of
Oh,
engine work, and
Told
those
you
are
I hear
whenever I
you.
get
important.
on here, it takes forever, man.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you.
No, but it's been very enjoyable. Thank you, fellas. I really
Oh, no
appreciate it and
problem.
enjoy it.
No
It's
problem. I'm probably gonna start doing much more relaxed format kind of stuff, because I'm telling you, I am about as done as it gets with a lot of
well,
stuff.
well. Do you
And
think it's kind of the same thing all the time, isn't it?
pretty much, and you know, it just, I question
Well, kind of like
really.
all Castro all the time when you're in Cuba.
Right, right. Well, it's not just that. It's just that the biggest part, man, is there are so many that are hell bent on destroying everything, and half of the people that are destroying shit think they're doing good, and there's a bunch. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. It's and it has to do pretty much with everything, not any one particular thing over another, or it's the combination of, it's where society has led us. And it's like humanity is in a position right now to where they don't really have a lot of good options in front of them. And if we want a good option, we're going to have to create it. But we can't create a good option when you have two sides bickering back and forth and neither one of them discussing the true problem.
And
Both
then
of them just finger pointing,
and there's a million other problems that are just, if not, deserve just as much as attention, like private prisons. I mean,
Yep,
there's so many things distracting us from all the wrong going on, man.
yep, yep. And it's just, I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here, and
Okay, well, I will
I will
too. Um,
I will see you guys tomorrow night. So anyway, I appreciate you guys coming. I
surely.
appreciate the folks on the YouTubes, and God willing, we'll be back tomorrow and we'll do this
Achaim?
again.
Achaim?
What? What? We got Rabbi Bill back or what?
It's either Rabbi Bill or Ribeye Bill. It depends whether.
Ribeye, that sounds better.
Ribeye, that's hey, ribeye, that's what I hear.
I like
Oh,
that.
how you doing, ribeye? How's it going?
Alrighty, folks,
Gee.
I am going to get out of
Okay.
here. As always, God bless you all. We love you all. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.
Good night, all.
Good night, Pete.
Good night. Bye.
Good night, John boy.
I'll be laughing about that now. God. Like the boogaloo.